Gough Whitlam's campaign slogan in the early 70s was "It's time." And in 2012, it was time for Tobin Brothers to introduce a new uniform. And this indeed will be the 7th uniform that's been introduced in the last 25 years. It was time to refresh our range and come up with something that was daringly different. For far too long, if you were to put all Melburnian funeral directors in the same room, many of them would look just the same. We wanted to be different. We wanted to be fresher. We wanted a new look, a new Tobin look to take us forward in the years ahead. So that was the journey that we undertook, and it commenced back in October 2011, where I spent much of that month travelling throughout Asia and the United States. And I looked at all the different uniforms that the different airlines are wearing right around the world. And there was one particular airline that really impressed me because there was a variety of uniforms. You had ladies wearing dresses, skirts and pants. You had males wearing different suits with different ties. But when they walked together through the terminal, they all looked as one. And that's what I envisaged. I envisaged for Tobin Brothers that that's the way that we would look, walking down the front of a church together in these different uniform pieces, looking as one. And it was really important, I felt also, that we had options available to our staff. Anna and I wrote a briefing document for all the uniform providers, and then the journey commenced. There was large consultation with staff. We met with 5 uniform providers and interviewed all of them and briefed them thoroughly. They then came back to the table and presented all the different options to Tobin Brothers on what they thought was best for us in moving forward. One of the things that we really focused on in the uniform brief was daring to be different. And one provider took that very seriously. In fact, the first uniform they presented to us had us wearing green jackets, the same colour as our logo, and very, very colourful ties and scarves. They took the brief very seriously, and that was Stafford's. And we felt that we could work with Stafford's on moving forward and coming up with something that we have today.
Having provided corporate apparel for the Tobin Brothers since October 2005, we knew the customer, we knew the client very well, and having that to be able to take it a little step further, to actually go out a little bit of left field was really good. It enabled us to actually come up with some very creative, innovative ideas for discussion. They weren't all accepted, of course, but it was nice to sit down and have a brainstorming session with everybody and just see how different the concept was.
The uniform brief really needed to be highly visual and informative. Having been a teacher and currently a designer myself, I've been on both sides of the fence. So I understand the importance of answering questions before taking on a project of this scale.
As you know, we started the process by surveying all of our staff, and I've got with me 23 pages of the comments that the staff made. We asked questions about the current uniform, what they like, what they don't like, their ideas for a future uniform, what they'd like to see and not see, and this document really formed the basis of our first numbers of discussions to put together and to whittle down and get a proposal that we could write to management.
Well, in the brief itself, although it was very detailed, it was also very open to interpretation, and we were looking for a company that would dare to be different and be a little bit bold, take a few chances. So we presented the brief to these 5 companies, and then James Donner and I had a fairly extensive meeting where each of those 5 companies presented their concept sketches to us, and in the end it was Stafford Corporate that were the winners.
The interesting thing though about the proposal is that many of the comments were diametrically opposite. So for example, someone would say, you know, I love a shirt with a collar, and someone else would say, I hate a shirt with a collar. And quite that level of passion in the comments. So we had quite a big range of things to work from and whittle down.
And I think it's nice to be able for them to show a little bit of their individuality. After all, happy staff must translate through into the marketplace. So I think it's really important that they have the opportunity to select from the range colours or styles that they prefer themselves, while still keeping very much a cohesive wardrobe. We've taken classic styling and given it a little bit of a tweak.
They were very different, as you'll see in some of the concept sketches. They took a lot of chances with really unusual colour combinations, bold patterns, particularly for the funeral industry. They definitely moved away from the charcoal suit, but interestingly enough, as the process developed over a period of time, we found ourselves reverting back to the darker suit, but in a sort of a contemporary cobalt colour, and reintroducing the classic pinstripe as a little bit of a tribute to the mourning suit.
A very stylish wardrobe. The shapes are more onto the body. While not being fitted, they're still very functional garments. The fabric is very lightweight, but it has a very high percentage of wool, which means that it's going to breathe in the summer, but still retain the warmth in the winter. And the blouse and shirting fabric is quite innovative. The men's shirting has a higher cotton content, so it's going to breathe and be a lot fresher for the wearer. And the ladies' blouses, we've given them more variety, long and short sleeve in 2 styles and 2 colours. So that's going to provide the wearer with a lot more flexibility in their wardrobe. But there's still going to be a cohesive wardrobe at the end of the day.
This is the Dandenong warehouse of Melbourne Textile Recycling. It's here that every week 20 tonnes of clothing is collected.
We're primarily a recycler, so our aim is to redirect clothing waste away from Australian landfill. We do that by collecting about 20 tonnes of clothing each week from the southeastern and southern side of Melbourne, and exporting that to be sorted in Malaysia. We actually send walkers out onto the streets of Melbourne every day. We have walkers who drop over 7,000 bags per day. The maps are then returned to us and issued to our drivers in turn on the collection day. The drivers then follow the maps, drive through all the streets where the bags have been dropped, and collect anything that has been left out for us by the kind people of Melbourne. The drivers jump out and pull up one of these cages, fill up the bales, and the bales then await loading into a shipping container just like the ones behind me. We have a sorting plant in Malaysia, and thereby the bags are all opened, clothing is all assessed according to its suitability for rewear. About 60% of what we collect is then further reworn, usually across Africa. We have an agreement with Child Fund Australia. Child Fund is committed to benefiting children across the third world, and they have many valuable projects in countries like Cambodia, Vietnam, Papua New Guinea.
The whole uniform project has been very much a team effort, a great team effort. So I wish to thank a variety of people. I'd especially like to thank the staff, because so many staff participated in the staff survey on the uniform. And without your input, we wouldn't have been able to come up with what we have come up with in this new uniform. So thanks to all the staff for your input. I'd like to congratulate the Uniform Committee, led by Wendy Goy, who have been with us throughout the whole journey of the uniform. Their input has assisted greatly in what we've arrived at today. Thank you to Wendy and all the Uniform Committee. To Staffords, to Sandra, especially, I'd like to thank you, who has been with us at each and every meeting and throughout the whole journey. Whilst there's been others that have assisted from Staffords, and we thank them also, you have been the one that has been there from day one until launch night here tonight. I think at times you question some of the things that we were looking at. I remember you talking about the dress and being concerned that there wouldn't be an uptake of the dress. But we stuck with the dress, and to your surprise, it has really been embraced in the company. You've been very practical along the way. You've made some very, very good suggestions. You've pointed out experiences that you've had with other organisations, and you have really assisted greatly in the process and us getting to where we are today. So we wish to thank you, Sandra, and all the team at Stafford. It's been a fantastic journey. To the team that has largely assisted me in every meeting from day one until tonight, I'd like to thank. And in particular, that's Donna, who's with me every step of the way and every meeting, keeping me on track and ensuring that every deadline is met and ensuring that this process never got off track and kept very much to the timetable. Thank you, Donna. You're a wonderful support, and many people in this organisation just don't know the wonderful work that you do to keep this company ticking over. To Anna Wire, who's been also with Donna from day one right through to this night. Anna has been absolutely fantastic in this process. The uniform briefing document that Anna prepared was just so professional. As a number of companies said to me at the time of receiving it, it's something that they infrequently receive when pitching for a company of our sizes uniform work. Anna certainly came up with some creative suggestions along the way, and I remember sitting back when Anna suggested that we introduce a few different coloured shirts, saying, they don't match, they don't fit in, they're not going to work. In fact, one of those shirts is part of our uniform today, and everyone has said how bright it is, how good it looks, and how much it suits the uniform that we've gone with. So Anna took on the whole concept brief of daring to be different, and Anna has very much helped us get to where we are today. To all the models and others that have assisted this evening, and also in the preparation of our new uniform booklet, I'd like to thank you all. I hope you've had some fun and you've enjoyed being part of this whole new uniform launch. To the team at Creative Communications who've put together this DVD, to Matt, to Mike, to Amy and to Anna, thank you. You do a wonderful job, and that's what makes the difference at Tobin Brothers. At Tobin Brothers, we have great people. They're our difference. They're our strong point of difference. And that's what takes Tobin Brothers a great company and the leader in Melbourne in funeral service to client families. Enjoy the launch tonight, celebrate it, and I can't wait till we start wearing this uniform in the coming weeks. That on its own will just demonstrate not only we're the best funeral company in Melbourne, but we're the best dressed also. Enjoy the evening.